Right, let's bring in some reaction from the National Prosecuting Authority as we're joined by National Spokesperson Advocate Mthunzi Mhaga. A very good evening to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome.
Good evening, and good evening to your viewers, and thanks for having us.
Yeah, I mean, today was a bit of a letdown for the many communities who are hoping to see this matter, move forward and to see it progress in the different stages. I mean, it's been struck off the roll. And I know you've since released a statement saying that you're ready to proceed with the case, and that, you even had witnesses lined up. If that was indeed the case, to my understanding, I would assume that the matter wouldn't have been struck off the roll to begin with. What happened?
Look, of importance is the fact that as early as beginning of 2023, hard copies of the so-called Gupta leaks were provided to the defense. And therefore, on the 5th of August, the trial date, they should have been ready to proceed. However, there is an electronic version of the so-called Gupta leaks, which we had to obtain from the Netherlands in February this year through a mutual legal assistance request. Between February and June the 15th, we had to create a digital platform where the defense will access the electronic versions. But it's the same information that they had as early as last year, 2023. That's why I was saying we are quite disappointed that the matter had to be struck off roll, because they had an opportunity to go through that evidence and prepare for the trial. However, they were maintaining that they could not access that information, but we even provided an expert to assist or to facilitate them accessing such information. So we are actually disappointed, but we will reflect on the judgment, because it was not a written judgment. It was an extemporary judgment, and therefore we couldn't interrogate it. Once we receive it, we'll reflect on it and decide when to reinstate the case on the same charges, with the same kind of evidence, with the same state of readiness.
Yeah. Judge Celeste Rangers spoke about how the delays in this matter were unreasonable, and therefore the matter cannot proceed under such circumstances. Do you think you were merely caught on the back foot as the NPA? Because, you speak about sourcing these documents overseas and having moved with the process from Feb up until at this point. Do you think it was a matter of timing? Had you sourced them earlier, do you think you would have found yourself in the same position?
I don't think so. What is important is that from the 15th of June up to the 5th of August, that's enough time within which to go through evidence that they had gone through as early as 2023.
Yeah.
So it was just a matter of us authenticating them, that is to ensure that the original, source of the information is guaranteed, as well as creating a digital platform for both the state and the defense to access that information. When we were in court on the 5th of August, we were hoping that the matter would proceed. We even said we would entertain a possibility of the matter being postponed for 2 weeks to allow them access to that information so that we can proceed with the trial. So we're taken aback when the judge struck it off the roll.
But there was legal basis to the decision that was reached today in terms of the defense's argument, putting up a strong argument that resulted in this outcome.
Look, that's what the judge says. We hold a different view.
What is your view?
Our view is that the matter should not have been struck off roll. It should have been postponed for 2 weeks to allow them access to the electronic version, which had been authenticated through the digital platform that we created with the assistance of the expert that we have provided.
You're pretty confident that this matter will be reinstated. You say as soon as possible. Is it as simple as you make it sound? How long could this process
It's
take?
very simple, because once we've requested urgently for the registrar to facilitate transcription of the judgment so that we interrogate it, and then we go back and reflect on what we have, and then we present the matter to court again in the form of a re-enrollment, which means we reinstate the case again, which means we put it back on the roll, we serve summonses on the accused persons, give them enough time to prepare in order to get the ball rolling.
Yeah. And how long could this process take? Are we thinking next year? I mean, it sounds
it shouldn't be long.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be long at all, but I can't commit to time frames because we depend on the registrar's transcription of the written judgment. Yes.
So you talk about deliberating on this now, reading through this and really just, rethinking a way forward. What will you be looking at in terms of some of the loopholes as you get a second chance to prepare?
There are no loopholes. I have said 2023 beginning, we provided them with hard copies.
Yeah.
February and June, we were working on authentication and creation of the digital platform so that they can access the electronic version of the so-called Gupta leaks, which we believe they did. Unfortunately, the judge says they did not.
Yeah.
Now, it's a difference of opinion. We hold a different view. They hold a different view. The judge ruled in their favor. So I'm saying it's not a train smash. There's nothing that will lead to a protracted process again. We will simply get the registrar to urgently transcribe the judgment. We interrogate that judgment and resolve whatever it is that we think could be a hindrance to us reinstating the case. But I don't think there would be. We should do that as soon as possible so that the wheels of justice can be back in motion.
And that's a very important aspect of it because, I mean, communities and people's lives were destroyed here. And many are watching as you and I speak, wondering why this case is not moving forward and trying to understand perhaps what you'll be deliberating upon when you say you'll be deliberating. What message would you give to those who are saying the wheels of justice are moving too slowly?
They can be slow, but they are grinding, and will be back in court as soon as possible. It's just a matter of time for us to have the registrar transcribe the record. We then interrogate the judgment and then resolve whatever it is that we think might impact on us reinstating the matter. But the wheels of justice will be back in motion.
And this, I mean, the complexity of this case, the arrest of former Minister of Mineral Resources, Mthunzi Mhaga, and the others, Sahara employee, Yugeshni Governor, and so forth. I mean, that was hope that, something is happening and, those who are being held accountable are not just the small fish, but those who are at the forefront as well. But, it's taken years. Talk to us a little bit about the complexities of putting together evidence and appropriate charges for prosecuting such people.
I'm glad you've raised this issue. These are complex commercial crimes. It went through the State Capture Commission, which gives you an indication that it was likely to be quite a protracted process.
Yeah.
It was likely to attract media interest. It was likely to draw the defense into coming up with interlocutory applications like the Section 342 capital A, which they have done. But we had a very experienced Silk who put up a very strong and vigorous argument. Unfortunately, we were on the losing side, but it does not mean that we are on the back foot. We are not. We are moving steadfast in ensuring that those responsible for state capture, those responsible for these kinds of crimes or allegations are held accountable.
Very well. Thank you so much. So months, years, weeks, you've got to give us something.
Don't put me on the spot. We depend on the registrar's timing in terms of transcribing the judgment.
Okay, thank you so much. Thanks for speaking to us. Of course, they're speaking to the National Prosecuting Authority's National Spokesperson, Mthunzi Mhaga, saying that this matter, when it comes to the Estina Vrede Dairy Farm case, it will be reinstated. Not giving us a time, but saying that the wheels of justice may be moving slowly, but they are surely grinding.